Hello people of the internet, welcome back to T's Money. I hope you're having a fantastic day today. I am, because this is a totally new series on my channel and I'm calling it Gig Work Wednesday. So I'm excited to see how this video goes. I'm gonna be very honest, I am going into this a little blind. I don't know how I'm gonna set it up. I have a general idea, so just bear with me and hopefully the formatting makes sense, and if not, next week we'll switch it up.
$8 mic, turn to $1 million, then we all rich. That's just how I feel. The last one not to get this dope. Always love when I.
Alright, so to start, I'm gonna show y'all the challenge that I developed that this whole series is based off of. And actually, I filmed an intro clip to this, so actually, let's roll that intro clip. Let's just jump into this because this is just the intro. We're gonna be in some different locations for this video, which is exciting. So one of the things that I really wanted to work on, which I mentioned this in my last paycheck budget, but I do think I may have to get a new car soon. My car is about 20 years old. She'll be 20 next year and she's still chugging along, but I have had to put a lot of money into her over the last couple of months. And so just being realistic, I do drive a 20-year-old car. The air doesn't even work inside of it, and it's just, you know, sometimes you have problems. So I've been weighing the pros and cons of buying a new car now. Obviously, new used car, new to me car. But one of the things that I want to do if I do buy a new car is make the entire amount for my car note in gig work, if that makes sense. And so by gig work, I mean Instacart, DoorDash, anything like that. So if you have Amazon Flex, if you do Walmart Spark, anything that you drive your car around and just like pick up shifts, essentially, like clock in when you want, clock out when you want, that is my goal. And so if I do get a car note, I don't want to be paying more than $500 a month, including insurance. So I would like to keep my note below $350 is like the max I would want to pay for my actual note, and then accounting about $150 for insurance for the car as well. That's like a max of $500 a month. And so I decided to design a challenge that will be free on my Ko-fi, so definitely go check it out. For all of the other people who do gig work. So I have four different versions really. So on this side, it's a save 500 in 30 days. On this side, it's a save 350 in 30 days. So each challenge has 30 spots that you fill out, and for the save 500, the max amount per day is $30, whereas the 350, the max amount per day is $15. And the reason that it was important for me for these numbers to be a little lower is because I do work full time. So even if I'm door dashing every day, I don't have more than a couple hours to dedicate towards that, except for on my off days. And so the thought process behind me creating these is that I wouldn't have to spend more than 2 to 3 hours doing gig work that day, because that I don't really have more than 2 or 3 hours to dedicate towards gig work every day. But why I said it has 4 different versions, this version is titled Dashing All the Way to Savings, and then I also have another version called You Gig Girl, like you go girl but gig. I thought that was funny, but I know not everyone who watches my channel are women, so I wanted to be inclusive of that. So both versions will be available on my Ko-fi. You just decide which one is better for you. If you like the little You Gig Girl pun, definitely download this one. That's actually the one I will be using for this challenge. But if you prefer the Dashing All the Way to Savings, that's totally fine as well. The amounts are the exact same on both sets of challenges. It's just the title that's different. Whatever works for your binder, whatever works for your setup. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the intro. Okay, so now that we have that, this challenge will be going live. All 4 iterations of it is live on my Ko-fi at the time that I'm uploading this video. So definitely go and snag your copy. It's completely free if you're interested in playing along with me, or even just playing at your own pace. But I'm excited to get started. So my goal was to actually do it for 30 days straight, but in this first week, I have not done 30 days straight, but I do still think I can get to the 500 500 within 30 days. And at first it was my goal to just save up all $500 and allocate that at the end of the 30 days. But I think what's more realistic and what makes the most sense for my budget right now is to spend the money week by week. So in this like recap, I'll not only go through what I made in the 30 days, or in the week, like in my weekly update, but I'll also go through what I'm spending that money on. And I won't have the physical cash with me, which is kind of weird because I'm a cash budgeting channel. But if you're familiar with the gig apps, they do direct deposit to your account, and honestly, I think it'll just, for what I'll be mainly using that money for, I think it'll be better if I just keep it in my account. I actually haven't even looked at it in total, so some of the money I might pull out, and next week it might make more sense for me to actually pull that cash out. But for now, we're just gonna do this, or even I might get some prop money to play, and then I'll know what to pull out and what to keep in my account. I don't know, I'm trying to think a lot of things through at the same time, obviously. But yeah, so I think I'm gonna start with this whiteboard. I think that's the best way to show like my stats. So there are two gig apps that I use. I use Instacart, Shopper, and DoorDash. That's what I've been using. I've been trying to get into some more gig apps. I heard of InstaWork, and then there's also something else that I heard about. I'm gonna try to get into those, but you know, a lot of apps, and Amazon Flex. I want to really try to get on Amazon Flex. I know they're currently hiring in my, or enrolling in my area, so I'm gonna do that. That actually reminded me to look into that. Alright, so today when I'm filming it, this is Wednesday, July the 9th, so I'm going to be looking at the previous week, so last Wednesday to this Tuesday, so the 7th through the 2nd, and let's start, we'll just go day by day, honestly. When I use these apps, I use them at the same time, so whenever I get off work, if I'm working that day, I just turn both apps on, and then I try to find the best batches on that app within the time frame that I'm DoorDashing from or Instacarting. So on Wednesday, July the 2nd, on Instacart, I made $15.06. We had 56 active minutes on Instacart. On that same day for DoorDash, and DoorDash doesn't do your daily summary like Instacart does, which I am not a super fan of, but on DoorDash I did two different dashes that day. The first one I made $6.50, and the second one I made $3, for a total of $9.50 on DoorDash, and a total dash time. So they give you a dash time and active time. I always go with the active time because the dash time, that might be when I'm doing Instacart orders or when I'm not getting any orders at all and I'm just sitting there. So we had 23 minutes on that first batch, and then 18 minutes on the second one, for a total of 41 minutes. So on Wednesday in total, we made $24.56, and I don't know how much of this time is overlapping, so I won't sum that up. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna total up all of my times, and then I'll fill in this afterwards to see what makes sense. So let's move on to Thursday. Thursday for DoorDash, I made, as y'all can see here, it was $4.14 plus $11.85 for a total of $15.95, or $15.99 rather, and that took a total of 24 and 15 minutes, so that's 39 minutes. On Instacart that same day, I made $28.33 with an active hours of 2 hours and 9 minutes. Ooh, that's kind of bad earnings per hour. Like, that's $14 an hour, so maybe not terrible earnings for hours. Friday was the 4th of July, and I did not do any Instacart orders on Friday, but I also didn't do any on DoorDash. I thought I DoorDashed at least one order. And then on Saturday, that was my day off. I was actually feeling so lazy. I also didn't do any orders. Sunday, oh, I didn't do my totals. Let's see. $15.99 plus 28, $44.32. Okay, so we made $44.32 on Thursday, and then on Sunday we made $25 on DoorDash with an active time of 57 minutes, which that's not bad. That's $25 an hour. We didn't do any Instacart on Sunday, so we had a total of 25. On Monday, we did $12.94 on Instacart with active time of 55 minutes. And on DoorDash for Monday, I don't think we did any orders on Monday. And I would be correct about that. So we didn't do any DoorDash on Monday, and then on Tuesday it was raining really badly when I got off work, so I also didn't do any orders on Tuesday. So in total, I'm gonna write it down here. I wish I had a different color. I think I do have some other Expo markers, but I'll find them later. So for a grand total this week of $24.56 on Wednesday, $44.32 on Thursday, $25 on Sunday, and $12.94 on Monday, we made $106.82 extra money. And let me also, it's kind of hard because some of these times are overlapping, but this is, if we round up, this is essentially 1 hour, 2 hours, 3-4 hours, 5 hours, and then like an hour. So 6.5 hours of work essentially is what we did. So let's divide it by 106.82 by 6.5 gives us $16.43 is our net profit per hour. And so let me see, 106.82. Let's knock some big numbers off, honestly. So the biggest number that we have on this sheet is 30. So I'm gonna go ahead. There are 1 and 2 $30 spots on here. I'm gonna go ahead and knock off those $30 spots. So let me clear this. 106 dot, I'm just going to be doing 106. I'm not going to count the change. So 106 minus 60 leaves us with $46 more. So I'm going to go ahead and knock off a $25 spot, which leaves us with $21 more. And then 21, I feel like there's probably a 21 spot on here. There is not a $21 spot, but we do have an $11 spot and a $10 spot we can mark off. That seems like a nice bet. Or actually, I'm lying. There's a $21 spot right here. Okay, beautiful. That worked out really well. So we were able to knock off these super big spots on our $500 extra money this month goal, which is super nice. And yeah, so we'll just continue to do this down. Our start date was 7/2, so hopefully by 8/2 this whole thing will be done. Let's move on to the fun part, which is the budget. All right, and let's budget our $106 that we made this month. So let's talk about the money that I already spent. So I took $18 of this to film my mini Monday this week. And so $18, that leaves us with $88 more to spend. I didn't have to get extra gas this week, but I also had a buffer and I kind of ran out. Like, I needed to get gas today, even though it was my payday, but I was like at the last legs of my tank. So even though technically I didn't go over my gas budget this week, because I am driving a lot more to actually do these like gig works, I am gonna give myself an extra $20 to gas. And so I will actually take this out in cash and add it to my folder. So that's a note for me to go and take out an extra $20 for gas. And then from there, that leaves us with $68. Right now, I'm kind of running through all of my sinking funds in my head and seeing if I'm behind or want to get ahead on anything. I think something important that I want to prioritize during this process is putting money back towards my car. If you didn't know, I drive a 20-year-old Volkswagen Beetle. She is still super cute. I love her. She gets me where I need to go. But that being said, she does often take a lot of my money. Just recently, I had to clear out my car sinking fund. This isn't what you think I'm about to say. I had to clear out my car sinking fund and not clear out my emergency, but I had to take about $60 for my emergency because I didn't have enough saved in my car sinking fund to pay for new front tires. I had a blowout. Oh, I talked about this in my mini Monday actually. So I had a blowout and the total cost was $180 to get my front two tires replaced. I went to Walmart Auto Center, loved them down. But it was $180. I think I had about like $110, $120 in my car sinking fund. So that other $60 just came from my emergency fund, which kind of set me back a bit. So I am gonna take $25 each week for my earnings, 25 at least, and put them towards my car sinking fund. This honestly doesn't need to come out in cash. This can just be a placeholder in my binder. Then kind of just to give me a boost back in my emergency fund, I think it would be nice to give myself $25 to emergency fund. And this also doesn't have to come out in cash. It can be a placeholder in my binder. And then finally, that leaves us with $18. So that last $18 is just gonna be an extra debt payment for me. And if you are not familiar with my journey, if this is your first time on my channel, every month I budget from my paycheck $950 to go towards debt anyway. So anything extra that I put, so if you ever see me budget for a debt payment that's not from my bi-weekly paycheck planning, that's an extra payment on top of the $950. And so I think I want that 18 to be just an extra debt payment. But moving forward in the series, beyond these things, I think I'm also going to prioritize, it's not going to be in this one, but saving for a new car, which was actually the purpose of me doing this. I wanted to see if I could like earn a car payment essentially in a month just from doing gig work. Some weeks it might save more heavily towards a new car. Some weeks like this week it won't happen at all, which is okay. Life happens. But I do think that's gonna be a new one. And actually, you know what? Let's do $8 towards extra debt and $10 new car. and both of these I don't need to pull out in cash. So this means I just need to pull out $20 in cash to put towards my gas sinking fund, and then the rest can stay in my account, which is what I was kind of hoping to do for the most part. But yeah, I'm super happy with what I made this week. I'm super happy with my progress on this game. I think 500 is going to be very doable because I missed how many days this week and I still was able to earn $106. It is not easy. I do work full-time, so for the most part I was coming straight off of work, still in uniform, and doing this, which is not for everyone. But I created this challenge to show if you really needed some extra money, if you have a car and you have just a little time, it doesn't have to be a ton of time every day. That's the whole point. That's why the numbers are on the smaller side. 30 is the highest. I don't have a ton of time every day to do some gig work. For the most part, after an hour, I'm just so exhausted because I'm at work for 8 hours already sometimes. So this is to show if you're short on time but can still find an hour or two every day, which is all I've been doing. I've been doing at most 2 hours a day. If you can find an hour or two extra every day and you have a car or some type of means, you can make a little extra money when you need to. So yeah, this is the whole point of this series, just how small little parts save up. And I won't be able to see the full fruits because I won't have the $500 in cash, because I'm going to be budgeting and spending this money as I go along with this journey. So really just do this challenge in a way that makes sense for you and your lifestyle and your financial situation. That's the whole point, just making a little bit stretch a long way. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know if you're excited to see what I do next week. I'm gonna be honest, today is Wednesday, the first day of week 2, and no gig work has been seen, done, heard from, but that's okay. It's just one of those days. We can make it up on the back end, hopefully. And yeah, I'll see you next time. Bye.